Alrighty, welcome back. Another episode of Post-Fades Cheesesteaks, episode 100, I should add.
Oh shit, look at
Yeah,
that. That's
we
exciting.
made it.
I
We
forgot.
made it.
Hey, look at that. That's exciting. Well, hey, you know what? Cheers to you, my friend.
Oh,
Cheers to see that
cheers.
beautiful beard 100 times.
Yeah,
No
it was.
better way than to celebrate with Ireland's best on St. Patty's Day. Nice
Yeah,
tall
happy
dark
St.
one.
Patty's Day,
Let's
everyone.
Guinness.
Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Century mark. That's exciting.
it was funny because I was looking back at some of the older stuff, like our first couple episodes, and it's like, I mean, we've changed a lot of things and how we do it, but still, the core is still the same of chaos and funny shit and being as brutally Philly as we can. So
Look at how much has changed. We've seen, well, we went through a whole pandemic with it.
we've all
because
had
obviously it
different
started.
hairstyles, beard styles. So that's
True.
you had a
That is-
caveman beard to start. I remember.
That's true. That's the good old COVID days. The
Mhm.
wild hair and the beard.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's been quite. We've seen some heartbreak. We've seen some frustrating things, some happiness and joy. Not
Yeah.
as much joy and happiness as we would like, but
Eh, comes with the territory.
nonetheless, yeah. But
Yeah,
it's been exciting.
Yeah, it's I definitely didn't think we would I mean, we said it when we did our 50 episodes last year that we didn't expect to even make it to 50. And
It's
now
true.
here we are. We went from just doing,
I-
we're gonna do player ranking videos, and then that turned into a whole weekly almost ordeal. So
It worked out well. You know, I've never been good at sticking to a schedule, and as you know very well, with all the time changes and the dates. But I gotta say, for almost 100 weeks straight now, it's like we've done a weekly episode.
almost we had I think after the Super Bowl
Some
we had
breaks here and there,
every
yeah.
other week for a bit, and then but yeah, I mean, and we had to do we were half international when you were over in London, so
That's true. Hey, we celebrated our 50, and when I was in England, we celebrated 100 while I'm in England.
yeah, there you go.
Look at this. Well, you know what? We'll have to get a beer or two when I'm out there back home next week and to celebrate.
To toast, yeah. I mean,
Toast
it's
to
definitely
100.
not I've seen a lot of people start podcasts, especially when COVID happened, and not a lot of them pan out and they drop off. So, I mean, honestly, props to us for sticking with it.
Hey,
So
cheers to you for handling hearing my voice 100 times over.
You're telling me.
Hey, well, you know what? You've been a gem, as I said in the 50. I mean, I gave you a lot of preps in the 50. I'm not going to waste my time this time. You only get so much love, but you've been a delight. You've been the driving force behind this. I obviously bring the brains and the good looks, but you bring the extra hard work and the skill and tenacity. We'd be nothing without you.
I appreciate that.
But hey, let's get into it. I think we've montaged enough. We have so much going on in the world of sports.
This was the week of absolute chaos.
The beautiful time. Beautiful time. What we got? We got the NFL free agency, obviously, all the moves there. Major League free agency. March Madness starts up. Have you done a bracket?
I did, and it was looking good until Iowa decided that they were going to lose to Richmond, so that they were my Sweet 16. So that's not fun. But
all right, you're better than me. I don't know why. It's just the team you pick. Everyone picks an underdog to go far. I had South Dakota State as my underdog, and they were going to go to.
Jeez.
You know what? I bought into the Jackrabbits all the way to the Elite Eight.
What? Jesus Christ!
I was feeling good, man. I was feeling good. They had everything that they needed. I just really good shooting team, senior team. It obviously didn't pan out like that. So. What do you know? What are you going to do? Apparently, my brackets stink regardless of why I watch college basketball or not, because didn't watch much this year and it showed apparently. But nonetheless, everything else looks good. They're my only big loss right now, but obviously losing an Elite Eight in the first two games isn't ideal.
Yeah, let me see. I have my brackets currently at 80%, so I guess I lost 2 games so far.
Or I don't know how that Who do you have winning it all?
I had, if I can get to the championship here, Arizona over Baylor.
Interesting. I'm at 47% right now, by the way. That South Dakota State really crushed me. But hey, I got a Kansas over Gonzaga winning. I like Kansas this year. I think they pull one off.
Really? I think I had Kansas losing in my Elite Eight. Yeah.
Because Kansas is a good team. They got some veteran players there. Bill Self's a great coach. I like the Remy Martin pickup. Remy Martin was a scoring superstar with Arizona State. I think he puts
Mhm.
together. I feel like Remy Martin's going to have one of those Kemba Walker, Shabazz Napier kind of just dominant college basketball tournament runs. But we'll see. I obviously, from looks at my record, don't know what I'm talking about because I've not done so good so far. So we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Who was in your Final Four?
Kansas, Gonzaga, because they had my championship game, and then it was Purdue and Illinois.
That is very
I'm a big
interesting
fan.
Final Four. Did you just flip a
Listen,
coin for all those? Like,
no. I mean, well, I had reasoning. Gonzaga and Kansas, obviously, are 2-1 seeds. I don't think
sure.
that's a surprise. Purdue, I think, is a good team. I think they're solid on both sides. They're really good on offense and defense, which carries over. And Illinois, something about Illinois is like they were a very good team last year that everyone had going very far. They were a 1 seed and then obviously lost to Chicago or Loyola, whoever it was, whatever small school. And I think that they bring that attitude. I mean, teams that get crushed like that, like Virginia, I mean, they lost to a 16 and the next year won the championship. But that Kofi Cockburn guy is still there, and he's an absolute superstar. So I think Illinois rides that momentum of getting upset by a nobody last year when they were supposed to win and turn out a good performance. So we'll see.
I didn't even have Illinois making it out of the round of 32.
Wow. Okay. That's pretty out there.
Oh, I took Houston. I took Houston over them. So I think Houston's
fair enough.
Sneaky.
See, you know what? Different mentality, though, because Houston went to the Final Four last year, and I feel like they kind of overachieved. So I feel like they would have got caught sleeping this time. They don't have the hunger as Illinois is. I remember thinking that in the matchup because I liked them both. I was like, one team's hungrier because one team didn't get the success that the other team had last year. And that was my reason to go Illinois.
Yeah, my Final Four is Duke and Baylor, and then Arizona and Wisconsin. So
interesting.
Wisconsin. Duke, the Duke thing is kind of I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost early, but I know because the season didn't end particularly well for them because they didn't win their division or whatever conference, whatever you want to call it. But I don't know. It's Coach K's last season. He's gonna retire. Like they'll have a little more spunk for the tournament. I feel like so. We'll see.
So you know what? I was thinking that too. I was teetering on whether I think Duke is gonna go out on a bang with Coach K, or the other way of looking at this, because I did watch that North Carolina game for Coach K's last game at Duke. Is who wouldn't want to be the team that says they sent home Coach K on his last game? Like I mean.
Yeah,
I think that's the mentality. Everyone's going to come in to beat them. I mean, everyone plays to win in the tournament, but the extra motivation I think is going to be there to be the team that sends Coach K home. And his last game, like that's something that everyone's rooting for. So I was leaning more that way. I think I have him out in the Sweet 16. I don't remember off the top of my head where. I think it's Texas Tech. I think if that's who they match up with.
I like Texas Tech.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just took the mentality, and I think every team's going to go out there just really wanting that honor of saying, I sent Coach K home for the final time.
It's possible.
Hey, we'll see. It's a great time of year. I'm excited. I got my plan next week while I lined up my vacation just to watch a whole bunch of college basketball. It's going to be fantastic. So
Sounds beautiful.
But moving on, I think we should get to the good stuff going on in the NFL. Obviously, there was a ton of news. Hard to wrap it all up in, but it happens every year when they do the NFL free agency. It seems like everyone just the first couple hours is just fireworks everywhere. Everyone's signing with someone. There's rumors everywhere. It doesn't stop. Eagles' biggest signing, obviously, Hassan Reddick.
Yep.
I think it's their only move so far, to be honest with you. I don't remember hearing anything else.
They re-signed a couple of players, like Greg Ward, they re-signed.
Yeah.
But I don't think they brought in anybody else new yet.
Thoughts on the Hassan Reddick signing? You're a Temple boy.
Oh, I loved it. I wanted them to go after him to begin with. And actually the deals, it's a pretty reasonable contract. They didn't overpay, I don't think.
Oh, for sure. For a pass rusher,
yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a very good player, but I would say he's a very good pass rusher.
He's one of those players that he just if he's in the right position, he'll make the play. He's so fast, he gets shot out of a rocket. So the way I understood it, he'll probably be a fifth D end essentially, So he'll be rushing from the stand-up linebacker spot. But
which is what you need. I think my only hesitation about the deal. I mean, I love the deal. I thought it was a great value. I mean, you're like pass rushers cost a fortune.
Yeah,
and you're getting a guy who came off of 11 sacks last year. I think it was like 15 mil.
3-year, 45 million. So that comes out to what, like 12ish, 13 a year?
You're talking about a double-digit sack guy at 26. Like he's still in the prime of his career.
Yeah,
really, I thought it was a very, for what other pass rushers are going for, I thought it was a great contract. My only concern would be he's been a 3-4 outside linebacker his whole career. But I mean, we know Jonathan Gann likes this hybrid defense, or at least he tells us that, runs the most vanilla looking thing you've ever seen before.
Yeah.
So maybe that's more of a combination if he came into a team that ran a 4-3 and had a lot of players left over that were 4-3 players. Now he gets to bring in his own guys to build this defense. So I think he does fit in well. I think maybe he fills a huge need.
I liked it a lot, and I think it's one of those like mutual ones where it's like Eagles wanted him, he wanted to be an Eagle, having grown up in Camden, went to Temple. I mean, he played on that field. It'll be cool. I'm excited. I'm happy to see. I mean, he's still in the prime of his career. Obviously, he was a little slow to get started in Arizona, but it was the last 2 years he's like top 5 in sacks. So it'll be exciting. They needed a guy like that. So I think you pair him with a healthy, full off season of work, Davion Taylor, see if he can, really step into that starter role, and then maybe bring in another vet, and then no more. I mean, I think Alex Singleton's gone. They're not re-signing him.
Yeah.
I don't even remember who the other linebackers are because they're that bad, but
that's true. Yeah, nice to draft one with those 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, from what I've heard, basically, I was listening to there's a podcast with like Jeff Mosher, who covers the Eagles, and Adam Kaplan, I think, and they were saying they heard a lot of talks about how he really emphasizing on how talented the edge rushing is in the draft, and how much the Eagles need to get better at that. So.
Listen, I mean, I wouldn't. It is a position of need. I mean, Barnett's leaving. Graham, you don't know what you're going to get. He's up there in age, and he's coming off a big injury. Sweat's good. Sweat's solid, but I mean, even Sweat isn't really your number one. Reddick's your number one pass rushing option now, but I mean, you could use a couple more. And with all the picks they have, there's no reason not to get at least 2 in here.
So, I mean, to go off the lovely jersey you're wearing, as of today, the Eagles did cut Fletcher Cox, but all the reports I'm seeing is like prefacing that this is for him to, if he wants to shop around, see what he can get, then he can do that. But like the Eagles do want to bring him back at a different contract, because he was guaranteed like 18 million if he was still on the team today or whenever 4 o'clock hit or whatever. But I have to think he's going to come back. I know you said you don't think that, but assuming he does, then you have what I would assume is I think there's still an opportunity to bring, I don't know who's out there, but bring in another veteran end. Have that guy and Graham kind of rotate, and then you have Sweat on the other side rotating with whoever you draft, because they have to be drafting at least one defensive end in the first 2 rounds.
Of course.
And then you have D tackles. So if Cox is there, then you still have what's his name? Hargrave. And then Milton Williams, surprised, like he came out and looked really solid. So this defense could be nice. They still need another corner. I don't know if they're hoping to go with like McPherson or one of the other corners, the younger guys, but I wouldn't mind a Casey Hayward because he's a free agent. Just bring him in and plug and play like they did last year with Nelson. Have them all outside Slay. I really wanted Marcus Williams, but I don't know if I wanted Marcus Williams at 70 million.
It's fair, yeah.
So if they're not bringing back Rodney or, God, I'm tired today. I'm really blanking on names. If they don't bring back Anthony Harris or Rodney McLeod, I would assume they're going to let Kayvon Wallace start, and then whoever else they bring in. But the defense has got some holes they need to patch. The offense needs probably another lineman just for depth, and then definitely a veteran receiver to start. So I would still even Juju's not really a veteran, but he's been in the league 5 years now. I wouldn't mind Juju, although I heard the Eagles really aren't that interested in him anymore.
I mean, he's the only guy left at this point.
Well, I also like Julio or Landry, honestly, because the thing with Julio, he might be very.
Yeah. I mean, you signed Julio for a 1 year deal. I think you probably get the same thing the Titans just got. It was 6 games, a 1 year contract. Is it though? Do you want 6 games?
I mean, that's what we got out of Deshaun Jackson and
Yeah, I wanted to get better than that. Not keep that as the status quo. It didn't work the other times either. I don't know.
If you were given a choice, a 1 year, let's say 1 year, $12 million for Julio, or 1 year, $10 million for Landry, who do you want?
I mean, I don't really love Landry either, to be honest with you. I don't really like either of them. I guess I'd say Julio because he's got a higher ceiling. Well, I don't know. And what Landry plays for you, Landry, I think is better in the slot, and I don't necessarily think that's what you need. So I feel like the positional arrangement doesn't work for what you have. I'm not really too thrilled with Landry just because he plays slot. Julio, again, I'm not too thrilled of because I think he's on the decline. He's getting hurt. It's not even like he's getting these lingering issues. It's the little ticky-tack injuries that keep him out a game or two, like that make you worry that they're going to keep happening. Yeah. Juju's still the guy I want. I think I don't think he's scratched the surface yet of what he can be. I think Ben falling apart really hampered his development. But we'll see. I think you can get him cheap because he's had a rough 2 years now. He's young. He fits the age profile of your offense. And I think he's still got a pretty high ceiling when things are going, when the offense is humming. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, I'm disappointed that they weren't in on any of the other wide receivers. Disappointed they haven't brought any of the secondary members in. Yeah. Obviously, I don't feel as optimistic as you do with Cox coming back. I think Cox is going to get a ton of interest in the league now that he's allowed to walk around. Yeah, I mean, I think any veteran team would be interested in bringing Fletcher Cox, and then maybe it becomes just a bidding war. Or, I mean, listen, if Fletcher looked at another team like the Chiefs or the I don't know who else might be looking for D tackle. I mean, the Bills just signed Von Miller, so I don't know if they're going to be looking for anyone.
You can always use line help.
Yeah, I mean, Denver maybe. I don't know what. I'd have to look at the teams, but they haven't salary cap. At least the nice thing is we did release them later on in free agency, so teams did spend. They might not have as much cap, but we'll see. I mean, I'd really like to see the Eagles make another move here. I mean, your secondary is Darius Slay at this point. I mean, I don't even know who you roll out in any of the safety or corner positions. Yeah, and I don't necessarily like the idea of just rolling out with a whole new young secondary like that. I don't know. There's not much out there. It makes you a little nervous, but I definitely think that the target was to build this team through the draft since we have so many draft picks.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. I have a CBS.
Well, real quick. So just give me, because I mean, there's so many signings, it's hard to get on all of them. Give me your best signing, worst signing, and team that did the best in the offseason so far, or free agency period.
All right.
Best signing could be team and player. Best fit. Best both sides win. Contract value or whatever. I can give you another minute or two. I know you're half asleep. I can give you mine.
Honestly, I know there were some head scratching money dished out, but overall, I think the Jaguars did a good job of bringing in bringing in players to improve the team immediately. Like Brandon Sheriff, we had him top 6 guard in our rankings. Yeah, they got him to help protect Trevor Lawrence. I know Christian Kirk got grossly overpaid, but I mean apparently that's what the market was for him. The 4 years, $72 million. I think it has a lot of intricacies in it. So they could probably get out of that too if he doesn't pan out. But he's only 25, and I think he was a second round pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but that one, I'll give you mine real fast because you mentioned two of them. Was my worst is Christian Kirk. I don't care what the contract says. I don't know
Yeah.
what the market said. You can't convince me that this third wide receiver on the Arizona Cardinals is worth what, 70 million? I mean, he's got the second highest wide receiver cap hit this season. I just outrageous. I can't wrap my mind around it. He's not even a guy like Christian Kirk's never been the wide receiver. I'm thinking this guy's got number one potential. I've seen him in the league for what, 3 years now. I still don't think he has number one potential. I
He's
think he's
more of
probably a
a
third wide receiver.
he's more of that, like, what do you call it, like a Z, where he's kind of the throw him around wherever on the field because he's so quick kind of player. But yeah, he's really at best he's a slot, honestly.
And you're
But I'm saying, like,
and
it's still, you add that to Chenault and Zay Jones and Marvin Jones, and they brought in, I mean, I hate him, but they brought in Evan Ingram, but he's apparently going to play more receiver than tight end now.
I mean, yeah, this is just a horrible team that had a ton of cap space and just improved because their team sucked.
But I think that was the right thing. I mean, they brought in Darius Williams, the cornerback from the Rams.
It's true. No, I like some of them.
They got some linebackers too from some young. They got like a mixture of like vets and young up and coming talent that I think was they have the luxury of overspending, so they could get away with that. The Miles Jack thing, from what I was able to gather, is more so that he was one of those players that's had I don't know if it was his knee or his ankle, but he has just been regressing every year, and it's because of injuries, they think. So he might just not be able to ever reach that ceiling that he was, drafted first round for. But Steelers picked him up. I mean, I would have taken a flyer on him.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely was interested. Going off the Jaguars, I think they had one of my best signings too. I really, really like the Brandon Sheriff signing. I think that's a great move. Both sides. Get Sheriff away from that train wreck of a franchise. I mean, that's not really saying much considering the Jaguars aren't much better, but get him away from the Washington train wreck where they franchise tag him twice, and no one does that besides them. I mean, 3 years, 50 million for an all-pro guard. That's great value. Dougie P knows the trenches. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence needs protection. The guy, I still think this guy is the hype that he was coming out of college. I mean, he had a rough year, but listen, he had Urban Meyer and the worst offensive line in football. You went and got a superstar on the offensive line to help this guy, and that's what you needed. Corey Linsley was a big signing for Justin Herbert last year. Guy played really well for him. It's good to have interior protection for your young quarterbacks. And I think Brandon Sheriff, it really wasn't that expensive. You think you got an all-pro guard for less money than it took to get a number 3 wide receiver in Christian Kirk. Pretty solid. So, yeah, the Kirk is still my worst signing. My best signing is Sheriff. And then another one of my best signings are kind of tied. And this just kind of puts more in perspective of how much I don't like the Kirk deal. Is Allen Robinson going to the Rams for $15 million a year?
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't expect that.
The Rams, I mean, they needed him. They needed a wide receiver. Woods is coming off a big injury. Odell obviously towards ACL.
I didn't even know they had money still.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they're getting this money. I know they said they're still interested in signing Odell. I mean, we'll see what happens. But
a lot of mouths to feed.
Listen, Allen Robinson's getting 15 mil. He's 345. Like, that's some significantly less than Christian Kirk. The guy's still 29, and he's like a number 1 wide receiver when things are going right. Christian Kirk, I just don't see this number 1 wide receiver in any system.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great fit, Allen Robinson, for player and team. The Rams are kind of weak on the wide receivers when you factor in all these injuries outside of Cooper Kupp, but Allen Robinson's going to love not having Mitch Trubisky throwing on the ball or being stuck in Chicago anymore, or Jacksonville, like his 2 previous stops. He's going to get a true franchise quarterback and an exciting offense.
I will say, and I think it's kind of cheating, but I think the best acquisition any team made was the Buccaneers getting Tom Brady out of retirement, because they went from a team that was gonna be out of probably Super Bowl contention, maybe make playoffs, to brought a bunch of players back who were probably going to leave, because once Brady came back right in time for free agency. I mean, I also do think the Bengals bringing in Alex Kappa was great, because they need to protect Joe Burrow. So the Bucs lost him, the guard, but besides that, they brought quite a few players back. So
hey, they picked up Shaq Mason in a trade with the Patriots too. That was a sneaky pickup, which is good to replace both losing both starting guards. But I mean, I think my best team from the offseason is the Chargers. I love what the Chargers did. They went and
Yeah.
got 2 superstars on
Yeah,
defense. You get Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. Like, the offense was set. They brought back Mike Williams. You know, it was kind of a big contract, but after seeing what Christian Kirk
He's a
got,
big guy.
I thought the 3 for 60 for Mike Williams was a lot until I saw Kirk. After I saw Kirk's deal, I was like, Mike Williams is a bargain. You know, but you getting Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson, those are 2 defensive like studs that immediately improve your defense. And I mean, they made it very clear they're going for it, as you should when you have a quarterback like Justin Herbert and he's on a rookie deal. I think they significantly got better. I mean, they brought back everyone on the offense that was really good last year, and then their defense is stacked. So I think that's the best team over the offseason for me. Just the moves they made, aggressive moves, and, you know, taking advantage of the Herbert window.
As far as worst team, I would have said Raiders, but they signed Chandler Jones, which I think is a pretty big deal. Pair him with
they extended Max Crosby.
I was just those 2. Sheesh, that's a good pass rush duo. But honestly, I feel like the Colts are having the worst offseason right now. They don't have a quarterback. They're not. I mean, they did trade for who was it? Was it Ngakwe or whoever?
Yannick Ngakwe. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that guy.
He's been on a different team every month. But besides that, they lost a bunch of players to free agency, and they're very quiet. I feel like they would be my losers so far. I don't.
You know who my losers are? They're actually on the other side of that Colts trade, so it's funny you went with them.
The Commanders suck too, yeah.
I mean, like, because like you look at their moves, like I mean, Matt Adonis's agent went out and ripped them, saying that, you know, they were told that he wasn't getting released, and they released him. Like, it was like they traded for Carson Wentz, completely just didn't factor in his extremely high salary cap. And like, oh shit, we have to get rid of like 6 different guys. Release Landon Collins, release Adonis, couldn't sign Sheriff. Like, I just like. Carson Wentz, the trade, I mean, we can go back and forth on that. I know we were a little hesitant about, I mean, I don't love it for the Commanders, but I don't love it for the Colts because it doesn't make sense to give up on the guy 1 year after you gave up so much. But I mean, it was also very clear that the Colts were moving on from Wentz. And it seems like Washington was the only team that was really giving up a significant package of picks to get him. And then they have to like significantly get their, you know, make significant moves to get under the cap after you brought this guy in. And I don't know. They brought in they haven't really signed anyone of note. It's like they brought in Wentz, lost 3 or 4 players. You can't convince me they're a better team now.
I will say I'm glad you just had that little bit, because it wouldn't be a 100th episode without a couple Tim mispronunciations.
What wouldn't I mispronounce?
Well, it's Ioannidis is the player.
Damn thing.
And
like 13 letters.
And you said the Washington Commandeers. They're the Commanders.
To be fair, this is a new name. I have to catch on. But it's a new name.
If Philly's not going to bring back Cox, which I would Cox is very I love the guy, but yes, he's definitely
not going to Washington.
No. I was just saying, if he doesn't come back to Philly, bring Ioannidis to Philly, because he's a Temple boy too. Him and Reddick together.
Listen, I'd be for it. I'd be totally for it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate Landon Collins. He's not necessarily the safety I'd want them to bring in. He's more of that Jamal Adams, blitz boy kind of safety.
You want Collins or you want Mathieu?
Oh, not even a question. Mathieu. What do you mean? I mean, I don't know how much he's going to cost. Like, he's definitely
Matthew,
break the bank.
However you pronounce his name.
Yeah, you're busting my balls.
Oh.
I don't. I mean, if they can pull off Matthew, I'd be all for it. I mean, it's not
a very Eagles move. I just don't see it happening.
No, I really think he's going to break the bank, and I just don't see them putting all that money into the safety position. Yeah, I mean, listen, they invested a lot in Jenkins, and Jenkins was very successful. I mean, he was a leader on the team and the defense and one of the best players. Matthew's been that role for the Chiefs. He could probably fit that role in Philly. It would make sense. I just don't see them doing it. I'd be all for it.
I still think McLeod could come back on a 1 year after the market settles.
Someone's got to come back.
I'm fine.
I want safety.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. I like McLeod. He was fine. He's worn down a little bit. I mean, he's had a lot of injuries and he's older now. But I'll just go through. I was going to say I have the CBS their rankings of the top 100 free agents, but I'm just going to go through like the top 15 or so. Surprisingly, Tehran Armstead is still a free agent. I don't know. I mean, there's definitely been years where one of like some of the bigger names wait the whole week or two before they actually pick a team, or like and they do in baseball sometimes they'll wait till the season's about to start.
Hey, listen, he's an all-pro left tackle, very
Yeah.
high-paid position, very in-need position. The guy's a stud. I don't think there's any questioning his market. I feel he's just probably waiting for his best opportunity.
Yeah. The two edge players, Chandler Jones to the Raiders, 3-year, 51 million. I like the Bills move to go get Von Miller. I think it's great for they need edge rushing and they also need another leader. I did not realize how much he was getting paid though. Did you see the contract?
Yeah, 6 years, 120 million. That surprised me a lot.
I saw 120. I was like, damn.
I agree.
Retired
I agree
happily.
with you. I like the move. I mean, listen, the Bills are a team that are Super Bowl or bust. That's how they've been the last 3 years. They are still in that mode. I think he makes them significantly better.
Yeah.
And the guy plays well in the playoffs too. I mean, he was nearly unstoppable with the Rams in the Super Bowl, and he was, I mean, the damn Super Bowl MVP when he won it in Denver. So the guy is a Super Bowl player, and the Bills need players like that because they're going all in. But I mean, I would have wanted them at half the contract, half the years. Give me 3 for 60.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a great deal. I just 33, and you're giving this guy 6 for 1. Like that's what you give him when he's like 28. I'm very, very surprised. I mean, outside of the ridiculously long contract and money, I love the move. It's just this seems like that's a lot. Like you're paying for Von Miller like 5 years ago.
Yeah. Then like you mentioned, the Chargers, they got JC Jackson from the Patriots, 5 years, 82 million. That's definitely a cornerback contract. Their defense, they needed, they could not stop the run. Not that he's going to help really the run game, but the Khalil Mack trade will help with that. That's a pretty nice. I mean, Derwin James, now that he's staying healthy. J.C. Jackson, I forget the other corner's name, but he's solid. You got Khalil Mack now. You have Murray, the rookie from last year or the year before. Joey Bosa. It's
good to listen. That defense significantly got better. I mean, you wanted 2 superstars. I mean, that's going to make any defense better. Yeah. And he gets the ball. I mean, J.C. Jackson's true value is he gets the ball.
Yeah, some other ones. Marcus Williams, who I wanted the Eagles to go after, signed with Baltimore, who they always value safety. 5 years, 70 mil. Yeah,
I mean, he got paid. Good move. I mean,
Ravens made a couple good moves to strengthen their defense. They brought Zadarius Smith back.
Yeah, would have liked Zadarius Smith a lot.
I will say I absolutely love 2 things about free agency. 2 non-Eagles moves that I loved were Von Miller choosing to go to the Bills and not the Cowboys, and Randy Gregory saying that he was going to re-sign with the Cowboys and then saying, psych, I'm going to go to Denver, 5 years, 70 mil. So, bro, the Cowboys are looking like they're not looking. They went from being probably top 5 receiver group to like now it's Gallup and what's his name? Lamb is all they got because they lost the other guy too, their 4th string guy. Or their slot guy.
Wilson. Whatever. He's a dime a dozen player.
He was a security blanket for Dak. I don't know. Well, they might be.
Listen. I'm all for the Cowboys slander, and I hate the Cowboys, but I did think it was kind of dirty. I thought it was kind of dirty on Randy Gregory. Like you've been suspended for like 2 seasons. This team has stood behind you.
He's such a Cowboy player.
And you did him dirty. I mean, yeah. Oh well. I mean, listen. He's such a Cowboy. Like that's a scumbag move to do, and that's just. Fits Dallas so well. I'm just
love it.
I was like, geez, like there is no team that has supported a player more than Cowboys and Randy Gregory. This guy's been like suspended numerous times, and he's still just peace.
Yeah,
but hey, I love it. I love it at the same time. It's beautiful to see.
I just realized this now. What about? Would you bring Stephon Gilmore to Philly? He's a free agent.
Yeah,
for the right price.
Yeah, why not? I mean, what's Stephon Gilmore going to cost you? I mean, I don't think he was the
Stephon Gilmore. I feel like it'd be another 1 year.
At the Panthers.
Yeah.
If you bring him in a 1 year deal, I'm all for that. Him and Slay would be a nice little tandem.
That would arguably a top 5 corner duo.
Listen, you got Slay and Gilmore. That's a lot of man-to-man coverage you could do. When you have 2 man-to-man lockdown guys like that, you can do whatever you want with the defense. There is nothing out of your realm possibility. I'm for it. I mean, they haven't spent the money on the secondary with the safeties or anything. If you bring in Gilmore, not too expensive. I don't think you have to go more than 1 year or 2 years. I like the move.
Um, I not sure how I feel about this, but I did hear a rumor that the Eagles might be interested in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the former Packers receiver. I don't think it makes sense because he's basically Quez Watkins but taller. So
yeah, that does absolutely nothing for me. I mean,
yeah,
he could. I mean, he could just take Jalen Rager's spot. I mean, he'll be better than Jalen Rager, but I mean that move does nothing for me. I'm not excited at all by that.
a move that I liked but also hurt me. Zach Ertz staying in Arizona, signed a 3-year, $31 million deal. I like it for him. It makes sense. Yeah. Obviously, I love Zach Ertz. I have his jersey. But it would not have made any sense for him to come back to Philly right now because if he comes back, they change things again, and this is Goddard's time to be the tight end. So I think the offense ran better as Goddard is the starter. So
listen,
I'm glad he got his money.
Go.
Good for him.
Yeah, suck to see the Ertz go, but I mean, for the Cardinals, that trade we said it when it happened made so much sense. They're a young team; they needed that veteran guy that knew how to win. Give Kyler a security blanket.
Yeah, still a ton of players out there that are available. I mean, Kareem Jackson, I wouldn't mind the Eagles bringing him as a veteran safety. Fournette's might not go back to the Bucks. Cordell Patterson, I'm sure somebody's gonna try and make him a running back again. I wish the Eagles would have went after Marcus May. I liked Marcus May from the Jets, but Saints grabbed him, so they have a whole new secondary.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's pretty much it for some of the heavier names. But yeah, it's been. I remember once the tampering period opened up and like all the news started breaking, I was in a meeting, and my watch just kept vibrating the whole time because I was either getting texts from like our group chat or Twitter notifications or texts from other people, and I was like trying to focus on what we were talking about in the meeting, and then I was like, I need to know what's happening. But it's fun. It's always chaos. I mean, yeah, we have this March Madness going on, NBA still going on, NHL is going on. Tonight is actually Claude Giroux's 1000th game. So
about the only thing to celebrate for the Flyers this year.
Yeah, hats off to the captain, El Capitan. He'll have his number retired once he's all said and done. So one of the best Flyers.
Sixers had a nice win last night.
Yeah, pulled out a win against the Cavs. Not something you would like to hear. I mean, the Cavs aren't that bad this year, honestly.
Yeah, the Cavs aren't bad. They're a playoff team.
Yeah, it's still the Cavs, though. I don't know. They were up by like 18, and then they blew the lead.
I know, yeah. Well, that's why I was like watching the game. I'm like getting ready to go to bed, and like, what the hell? They were up by like 18. Now it's close. Now I have to stay up and watch this game. Although it was sweet, man. Joel Embiid he's a force. He's a force. He can't be stopped. It's so nice having him. He just looks incredible.
Yeah, he's a beast. I love him. I will say
he can't be stopped.
Even though I am a Sixers fan, I do feel a very slight, not a lot, very slight pity for any Nets fans out there because they get teased all the time about how good their team could be if Kyrie and Durant were just on the court together.
I could care less. This is what comes with Kyrie and KD being on the same team.
They're both headaches, but like what was it? The other day, KD dropped 50 some. Then the next game, Kyrie dropped 60 some. There's like, and then when they played against the Sixers, they were fucking light. They were shooting 70%. Now, granted, that'll never happen that often where your team is that lights out, but like they tease you with it, and they would be scary if they played all the time together. But
I can't wait till they see what happens in the playoffs with Ben Simmons. Wait until you know how you stop an offense with KD and Kyrie Irving in it? You just foul Ben Simmons. You just foul him. That's all you do. Yeah, Ben Simmons doesn't have the ball. Just foul him. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. That is the one thing that KD and Kyrie can't stop, can't do anything about. Just foul Ben Simmons. We saw it happen to the Sixers last year. I can't wait till it happens to Brooklyn. When they're like, oh, we have these two lethal scorers, but they can't do anything because everyone just fouls Ben Simmons. And it's going to be fantastic to watch in the playoffs. I can't wait. But that clown is still too scared to come back, so we have to wait a little bit longer till that happens.
Yeah. Besides that, we did some Phillies news, even though they still just are infuriating to follow because they just will not spend money where it needs to be spent. They didn't get Bryant, but they did get Kyle Schwarber, which is a nice consolation, I guess.
I like Schwarber signing, but I mean, you hit it on the head. Like they just ignored their needs and just went and got a player. Like Schwarber's a good player, but he is not moving the needle. Like,
yeah,
if you brought in a Schwarber caliber player in like the bullpen or like starting pitcher or I don't know, somewhere where you actually need a player, not another, solid bat that can't field. Like your team's still going to be horrific in the field, which cost you many games last year, which I am concerned about. I like Schwarber. I think he's going to be a good fit in Philly, but
yeah,
I'm just disappointed with this team. It's like they broke the bank to bring in Harper just to solidify great attendance and merchandise sales to make their money. And they're like, oh, no, we're content. Harper single-handedly makes us a marketable team. We'll be on national TV. We'll be a solo sellout. Harper does that himself. We don't really have to put more money into becoming a winning team because we're making money. That's all they really invested in. They spent enough money to make more money, but not enough to actually win, which is just infuriating.
Yeah, it's run like a business. They're afraid to go over that luxury tax. They don't want to spend. They don't want to overspend too much. But like you had Bryce Harper literally just strapped the team on his back and got them within a 3-game series. If they would have beat the Braves, I think they would have made the playoffs. They would have swept them, but they got swept because they had nothing left.
It's infuriating. Like they're not spending. Like you look at the Dodgers. They just keep spending money because they want to win.
The Dodgers and Yankees just print money. It's not even fair.
But they also win. That helps.
Did you hear what? I'm disappointed. I will say, did you hear what Aaron Judge had to say about COVID?
No, I did not. No, we haven't heard much about COVID recently.
No, somebody asked him about like, he's like, oh, are you vaccinated? Are you like, can you play all the games? Because New York still has that like mandate. That also that New York thing doesn't make any sense. Like Kyrie's allowed to sit in the stands, but he's not allowed to be on the court. Like that just blows my mind.
It's wait, why would the mandate wouldn't affect in an outdoor stadium?
Yeah, well, no, apparently you can attend if you're not vaccinated at a baseball game, but if you're a player, you can't in New York if you're on the home team. So it's still weird.
Interesting.
But anyways, a reporter asked Aaron Judge, was like, "Oh, you vaccinated?" He was like, "Well, you know how these things go. Playing it by ear. Hopefully, things, will be in a good." Basically, he was just like bullshitting his way through it and essentially saying, "No, I don't have the vaccine." So another New York moron that just, it is what it is at this point. But I don't know. It's players, man. It's crazy that all this money they make and they can't, just get a fucking shot. But
hey, listen, I'm all for bringing back the vaccine mandate if the Sixers end up playing the Nets in the playoffs. I mean, just putting that out there.
If it doesn't change, the Nets aren't going anywhere in the playoffs. Like it's just,
hey,
they're not going to have home field advantage. So
Game 7 in Wells Fargo.
Although actually that might be good for them.
Maybe consider the mandate. Yeah, maybe consider the mandate. Game 7 in Wells Fargo.
Yeah, but
we'll see what happens. Actually, I hope I'm wrong.
I will say, on a final note, before we leave, give me right now your prediction because it might happen. It'll probably be already changed by the next episode. Deshaun Watson. Where is he going to end up?
Deshaun Watson. Wow. Hold on. Sorry to cut you off real fast. I think this news came in right now.
Yeah, I see that now.
That is Devontae Adams, the best wide receiver in the NFL to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wow.
Is that true?
Breaking news courtesy of Bobby Reddick.
Wow. That's crazy. Wait, hold on. Let's give you got your Twitter stream on. I'm not seeing anything about that actually right now.
It could be trolling. You never know.
Could be trolling.
That would be, how many times have Packers wide receivers gone to the Raiders?
Yeah, but I mean, what does Aaron Rodgers do?
Maybe he's getting traded to the Raiders. That's wild.
Wow, Adam Schefter. Packers are trading Pro Bowl wide receiver Devontae Adams to the Los Angeles for 2 prime 2022 picks. The Raiders are giving Devontae Adams a 5-year contract.
They probably couldn't pay him.
Wow. And Rapport, Devontae Adams gets a new contract worth $141 million over 5 years. Gets an average $28.25 million a year. Wow. Wow. How do we digest that?
I was just trying to talk about Deshaun Watson. Now we had another ball drop. That's fucking nuts.
First thoughts, I mean, hats off to Vegas, man. They that's a hell of a move getting Devontae Adams. I mean, I don't know what the picks are. Even if it says 2022 picks, prime picks. So I'm saying maybe a first and a third, first and a second and a third. I don't know, whatever it is. I mean, I think it's worth it. Devontae Adams, you're paying him what he's worth. The guy is a superstar. He's the best wide receiver in football. I don't know what if I'm Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how to take this one, man. You agreed to stay with the Packers. Now they just got rid of your number. You're really your only option on offense. But I mean, is this a product of Rodgers' contract, or is this just because now you've given up Zadarius Smith and Devontae Adams to sign Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, that's not it would have made more sense if they were like, all right, we're gonna trade away Devontae and then get like a cheaper option, and by cheaper I mean still expensive, but get like Allen Robinson or one of the premier receivers. But what you can't replace Devontae Adams. Now who's he going to throw to? You even got your second best option was Valdez-Scantling, and he's a free agent too. You going to pass to Alan Lazard? Alan Lazard is your number one.
I mean, hey, Aaron Rodgers in his bitching, he said it was all about people. His issues with this organization was people, and he listed all the people they moved on from. Well, does he care about the people now that he got his $50 million per year contract and his best wide receiver decided to get off to pay him? I don't know. I think Aaron just cared about money. I think very shocked, but hey, man, that's what throw that in my best moves. Of AFC West is fucking loaded. Look at the names the AFC West has brought in this offseason so far: Russell Wilson, Devontae Adams, Khalil Mack.
Uh-huh. And then you have the Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes is still there.
Hmm?
Wow, just wow.
Well, because for that first week, it was like, what are the Raiders doing? Because they're not going to be able to compete with these teams. And then they're like, all right, Chandler Jones, one of the best edge rushers in the league. Devontae Adams, best receiver in the league. I'm like, what is happening? That division is terrifying. Holy shit.
That is
well, that's a head scratcher for sure.
Didn't see that one coming.
Back to my Deshaun Watson thing. I'll answer first. For some reason, I have this weird inkling that he's going to go to the Falcons, and that the Falcons will trade Matt Ryan to Houston, and Houston will restructure his contract for like a year or two, let him groom some young quarterback, whether that's Mills if they want to go with him, or draft a guy and then get a bunch of picks from the Falcons, maybe some young players. But I mean, the Saints also make sense. That I would rather go to the Saints if I was Watson. Better roster, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's between those two. The Eagles are still very quietly involved somehow, even though all the reporters are saying it's just between the Saints and the Falcons, but I don't believe that.
Well, I think Deshaun Watson said he doesn't want to go to Philly, and he's got a full no trade clause. It still blows my mind. This guy's a full no trade clause, and he's demanding a trade while he, is currently being sued by 22 different people. Just blows my mind. But yeah, I mean, I think. One of the names we've heard the entire time, and it's a team that I think is extremely motivated and will give up whatever it takes to get them. And I think that, might be a team Watson be interested in going to. I think Carolina is the one to keep an eye on. I think Carolina gives up
pretty
the picks.
Quiet. I don't know.
They've been linked. I mean, him and Miami seem to have been linked the entire time through this whole exchange. I think they make the most sense. I still think that they're going to put in whatever it takes to get them.
Yeah, but if you're Houston,
backfield?
Yeah, but if you're Houston, do you want I love McCaffrey, but he can't stay healthy. Is that the return you want for giving up?
No. They keep McCaffrey. I mean, if you're the Panthers, I mean, it would make more sense to keep McCaffrey if you brought in Watson.
How are they going to afford Watson?
Listen, they let Reddick walk.
They're gonna
There's
offer
not many other
more
players.
more
Stephon Gilmore
massage
walks.
therapists.
Maybe. I mean, there's not too much. I mean, listen, they could afford it. There's not really many big. I mean, McCaffrey probably makes the most on that team. I don't think anyone else has got any big deals that would prevent them from doing it. But I mean, that's my prediction. I'm still wide open. I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. It's a weird situation where Watson still has all this legal uncertainty. He has the full no trade clause, and the Texans aren't necessarily they didn't really want to move him. He just made it very clear that I wanted to be moved, and he's a huge contract. It's a very weird situation. But I don't know. I mean, still can't get over this Davante Adams news.
Yeah. Well, all right. So I say Falcons to Watson, and you say Panthers.
Panthers, yeah.
Okay. And Davante Adams to the Raiders. What a wild week.
And
that's
you know what?
Thursday.
Little cherry on top, because you mentioned earlier. Apparently, Zadarius Smith is backing off his Baltimore deal.
I did mention that.
Did you? He's not signing with Baltimore, so he's still on the market.
Oh wait, he's not signing with Baltimore.
Yeah, that's what I meant. He backed out of the deal.
Oh, damn. Okay, come to Philly.
We'll see. Hey, wouldn't mind it. Yeah, I mean, listen. I know Aaron Rodgers is going to probably say something. He loves to speak. We'll see what happens. I love to hear what he says. My $50 million contract made them get rid of the best player on the team.
I don't understand that. There's no way. It doesn't make any sense. Why would he go back if they were going to trade Davante?
Listen, I remember saying this with Aaron Rodgers. It made no sense for him to leave the Packers because they're ready to win a Super Bowl right now. You take away Zadarius Smith and Davante Adams, this is not a Super Bowl contending team, to be honest with you. I know Aaron Rodgers is there, but what on this team scared you? Nothing. The defense is lacking. I mean, you got rid of your best player on offense, your best player on defense, you could argue.
Yeah. What are the odds on Aaron Rodgers being traded to the Raiders for Derek Carr?
0.
Could you imagine? I think Derek Carr is solid, but could you imagine Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Justin Herbert in the same division? Jesus, that would be nuts.
Hey, man, Derek Carr just got a huge boost. Derek Carr, but Davante Adams is unguardable.
Oh,
that is. Oh.
And Carr's got a cannon, so.
Yeah. Hey, listen. Hats off to the Vegas. They haven't released what the details
AFC
are.
West. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but hats off to Vegas. I like that move from them. Even if it's a first and second, which would be the most they give up with 2 prime picks this year. It's a huge contract, but listen, this guy's worth it.
He's better watch out. It's not going to be a cakewalk anymore.
Are the Chiefs still the favorite in the AFC West?
I mean,
I don't know.
Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in that division, in my opinion. So, yes.
I mean, it just got very close now between Russell Wilson joining and the Chargers defense just got 2 superstars. The Raiders got the best wide receiver in football, and the Broncos got Russell Wilson. Every team in that division made a significant upgrade except the Chiefs. I mean, they're letting arguably their best defensive player leave.
Yeah. That's like we said, it's March Madness and free agency frenzy. All the chaos is happening at the same time.
Hey,
Gotta love it.
We'll see. Well, I think we covered a little bit of everything there,
as we usually do.
Good to see. And I mean, hey, next week will be something completely different. More NFL news, I'm sure. The draft is right around the corner.
This is true.
And we have more March Madness to get through. I've already lost an Elite 8 team after the first 4 games, so I'm sure my bracket will take more beatings as the week goes on. All right, well, hey, it's crazy we made it this far to 100. To 100 more.
Cheers to 100. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And
cheers.
No, let me grab
shout out. Hey, if this
I haven't had my beer yet. You gotta wait up for me there. But I'll cheers you with some water.
And to one of my favorite players ever for the Philadelphia Eagles, had to rep the jersey. If this is the final call, to one hell of a Philadelphia career to Fletcher Cox. But hey, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. I'm just not as optimistic as I think you and Howie are.
Cheers to 100 episodes. So
let's sign off before another All-Pro player gets traded.
Oh Christ! All right, I'll catch you.
I'll talk to you.
Peace out.